Welcome to Vacuum Wars, where we are continuing our series on Dyson cordless vacuums. And today we have the Dyson V8 Animal. We put it through a lot of tests over the last week and found that there were a lot of reasons to like the V8 even over some of the more expensive models. I should also mention that I have reviewed the V8 Absolute in the past, which is the same basic vacuum but with a soft roller head included. So this review should work for both V8 versions. So links in the description and let's get started. Starting off with the pros, the Dyson V8 still stands the test of time when it comes to power. We tested suction and airflow at various places on the vacuum and in both its low and high power modes, and it's still more powerful than almost every cordless stick vacuum I've personally tested, and it has just a little bit more power than the V7, which we tested last week. When you combine that power with its newer floor head design, which is slightly better for hard floors than the V7 was, it did better with things like the Crevice pickup test, where it outperformed the V7 on both low and high power modes. Like the V7, a major pro with the V8 is its carpet cleaning ability. I actually prefer these older Dysons like the V7 and V8 over the newer models when it comes to carpets because they have a smoother pickup with debris of all types and sizes, and they don't seem to have any issues with clogging even with larger size debris. The newer style Dysons have heads that try to be equally good for hard floors and carpets, and while they accomplish that to a large degree, they do lose a little bit when it comes to carpet cleaning in my humble opinion. Another pro on the V8 is its filtration. This is a major upgrade from last week where we saw that the base model of the V7, the motor head, was not a sealed HEPA system. And while there are some V7 models with a HEPA filter, both the V8 models are sealed HEPA systems, so you won't be breathing in what you are trying to vacuum up. I also prefer the lightweight of the V7 and V8 over the newer models, which I think can be tiring on the forearm. I think Dyson in general is good at distributing that weight on their cordless vacuums, but it does help that the V8, for example, is almost 2 full pounds lighter than the newest Dyson. To me, that makes a big difference, and it's more in line with what I think people are expecting from a cordless stick vacuum. Its ease of use was really good too. It handled well in tight spaces and under furniture, and in general it was a pleasure to use. In addition to the Crevice tool, combo tool, and wall mount, both the V8 Animal and the V8 Absolute come with the mini motorized brush, which is great for upholstery, stairs, or cars, and it's right up there as one of my favorite tools from a cordless manufacturer. The battery life was really good, better than the V7 numbers by a few percentage points, and considering that there was also an increase in power from the V7 to the V8 as we've seen, it makes this increase in battery life on the V8 look that much better. The Dyson V8 was also slightly better with hair tangles than the V7 in our test. There were no tangles with 1 gram of 7-inch human hair and minimal tangles at 1 gram of 14 inches, all of which is better than average for cordless vacuums in general. Also, something I forgot to mention in the V7 review was the noise level with these V7 and V8 models are much quieter than the newer Dysons, especially on their max power mode. The final pro is that the V8s are well built. They are solid, long-lasting vacuums that have some of the best customer satisfaction scores in the industry, and reviewers and customers are still praising them even after several years of being on the market. It can't all be good news though, so let's move on to the cons. Despite the cleaner head on the V8 being slightly better than the V7 was with hard floors, it still wasn't what I would call good. Like the V7, it could pick up fine debris really well, but anything above that size was pretty much a no-go. Remember, it had no problem with larger debris on carpet, but with hard surfaces, it's a different story. To fix this, the V8 Absolute version comes with a soft roller cleaner head as well as the standard head, and I think these soft rollers are one of the best ways to vacuum hard floors. They can pick up pretty much anything you throw at them. So if you have more than 30% or so of hard floors in your home, I would highly recommend the V8 Absolute over the Animal, where you can have the option to switch out these heads. On that point, I would definitely check the link for the V8 Absolute below, because though prices change all the time, the Absolute version goes on sale all the time and is sometimes actually cheaper than the V8 Animal, which makes no sense, but it does happen and it's worth mentioning. I hesitate to call this next one a con, but the carpet deep clean tests were just a tad below the V7, which I chalked up to the extra air holes on the V8 cleaner head, but I'm not sure. In any case, 96% on high power isn't a bad score on this test by any means, but it is worth mentioning. The final con is the price. These Dysons are well built and some of the best cordless vacuums out there, but they are a bit costly. At the end of the day though, there isn't a lot to pick on with the V8 Animal or the Absolute. I prefer their handling and their weight over the more expensive Dysons, even though they typically don't have as much power or battery life than the more expensive ones. But if you have a smaller house or an apartment, then I think these V8s are a great buy. Links in the description, and be sure to subscribe to Vacuum Wars to keep up with all the latest vacuums and robot vacuums, and thanks for watching.